lions.
And tigers?
And bears.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Hi, in this video we're going to talk about factorials, permutations, and combinations. Okay, and first we'll go through just the notation, and then I'm going to show you how to use Excel to calculate these. So a factorial is when a number gets really, really excited. Ha, ha, ha. We put a number and then we put an exclamation point next to it. And what it means is we're going to take that number and multiply it by every number less than that. And it's probably easiest to see if we just do an example. So for example, if I had 5 factorial, what that would be equivalent to is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So we take every number below that. Or I could do 7 factorial, which would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And now here, this one isn't so bad. 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 is 60, times 2 is 120, times 1 is 120. But you can see when I get up to higher numbers like this is going to be, obviously this part right here would be 120, then times 6, then times the 7. So we're going to get into really large numbers pretty quick. So it's important that we have a tool that will actually calculate these for us, and we're going to learn how to do that in Excel in just a second. But before we do that, let's talk about permutations and combinations first. Now, in our class, we'll talk about when we use each. The easy answer is we use permutation when order matters. In other words, let's do A, B, C is not the same thing as C, A, B, right? In each one of these, I have an A, a B, and a C, and a C, and a B, and a C, but they're in different orders. So if order matters, we do a permutation. And if order doesn't matter, in other words, these are the same thing, then we do a combination. And we'll talk about that in more detail in class. Now, if we're doing a permutation, the formula is in permutate R is n factorial. Okay, so that's the same factorial that we're using up there over n minus R factorial. So in other words, I'm going to take n, subtract R, and then find the factorial of that. So I have an example here. 7 permutate 4. So we're going to have n factorial, which is the first number here. Notice n is on the left, over n minus R factorial. 7 minus 4 is 3 factorial. And now this one is not so hard to calculate. This would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And my denominator would be 3 times 2 times 1. What's really neat about these, and it will happen, is that some things will cancel, right? 3 times 2 times 1, 3 times 2 times 1, these would cancel out. And so my permutation would just be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, which this is 20 times the 6 is 120 times the 7 is 840. Okay. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this in Excel, and it will actually do this calculation for you, so you don't have to worry about this. And then the last one is a combination. The formula for a combination is going to be n factorial over n minus R factorial. Well, that's the same as a permutation. The difference here is we also divide by R factorial. And what the R factorial does is take out all the ones where the order would, where the selection would be the same, but a different order. Okay. All right. So again, here, this would be equal to 7 factorial, because that's my n on the left-hand side. N minus R factorial, 7 minus 4 is 3 factorial, and then R factorial, 4 factorial. If I wrote this out again, it would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. In my denominator, what I usually do is write out the larger of the two. So this would be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. This is 4 factorial turned into this. These would cancel. And so I would be left with 7. Well, this is 30 times 7, which is 210 divided by 3 factorial. All right, so this is 210. Well, 3 factorial is going to be 3 times 2 times 1. So I'm going to get 210 over 6. I think that is going to give me 35. Okay. All right, so like I said before, we're going to do these in Excel, and in Excel we have our built-in functions like we've had in the past. All right, so a factorial is just going to be you're going to type in equals FACT, all right, and then put in your number. So fact of 5, okay. For a permutation, it's permut, and then you're going to put in your N, comma, R. And then for a combination is combin. You have to put your equal sign, N, comma, R. All right. And now I'm going to show you those and I'll retype them in Excel. All right. So I'm in a new worksheet and our first one is 5 factorial. So I would just type in equals FACT, open parentheses, put in my 5, close parentheses, and I get 120. And over here, I'm just going to type out what I entered so that you can repeat it yourself. If I wanted to do 7 factorial, I'd type in equals FACT, open parentheses, 7, close parentheses. And you can see that's a really large number. We did not calculate that one. But you can see that these numbers get large really fast. FACT of 7. Whoops. That's what I typed. All right, our permutation, like I said, it's permut, open parentheses, and now our N was 7 and we chose 4. Okay, 840. So over here, I'm just going to retype it so you can see it's permut 7, comma 4. And then finally our combination, which is combin, C-O-M-B-I-N, open parentheses, 7, comma 4. And again, I'll just retype it here so you can see. Okay. All right, so that's how we do factorials, permutations, and combinations in Excel. And really the main thing to remember are what your key words are. Fact, F-A-C-T for factorial, permut for permutation, and combin for combination.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.